You spent years learning English. But when someone asks you, "What can I get started for you?" your mind goes blank. Hi there, I am Jackson. And welcome to Jackson, English Stories. This is not a classroom. This is your space. To breathe slower, to speak braver, to feel more human in English. And today, we are diving into something simple, something you already know, but still, it stops you cold. Questions, not the hard ones, not IELTS or TOEFL. The soft ones, the daily ones, the how are you ones. Let me ask you, have you ever seen a list of common English questions? 50 of them, maybe more. You nodded, memorized, understood every word. But then, one day you walk into a cafe and the barista says, "What can I get started for you?" Boom. Silence. Your brain? Nothing. All those questions you knew. Gone. Vanished. It happens. A lot. You ever felt that? You know the words, but you freeze when it is time to speak. You are not the only one. Most people learn English like collecting stamps, questions, phrases, grammar rules, stacked neatly in notebooks and apps. But here is the twist. Knowing the question is not enough. Using it. That is where the real work begins. Think about it. How many times have you answered, "How are you?" with just, "Fine." "Good." "Okay." Even on your worst day. Why? Because the question is not the problem. The fear is the fear of sounding weird, of making a mistake, of getting stuck halfway. But what if asking a question was not about being perfect? What if it was just being present, showing up, being real? That is what this video is about. Not collecting more questions, but learning to own them, to say them like they are yours. Not a lesson, not a test, a moment. And here is where we start. What is the one question you say over and over? Because it feels safe. Is it, "How are you?" "Do you speak English?" "Where is the bathroom?" It is okay. We all have that one. But now, a small challenge. Comment below. What is your most used English question? And more important, what is one question you wish you had the courage to ask? Because today, we are going deeper. Into the safe ones. The awkward ones, the emotional ones, even the ones that might change your life. But first, let me tell you something. I was just like you, sticky notes on my mirror. Phrases saved in my phone, grammar drills every night. But when someone looked me in the eye and asked something simple, I froze. Because learning a question is not the same as living it. And that is what we will do together. We will take them back, make them real, not robotic. Not rehearsed, real. So take a breath. This is your space, your moment, not to memorize, but to ask. Not just, "How are you?" but, "Are you okay? Can I help? What do you mean? Do you have a minute?" These are not just grammar points, they are connection points. Now, let me take you somewhere. It is morning, you wake up. Brush your teeth, check your phone, and even before breakfast, you have already heard 5 questions in English. Can you guess what they are? Let us find out. In the next part. You already answered 10 questions in English today, before your first sip of coffee. You just did not notice. Let me show you. Picture this. It is 7:32 a.m. You just woke up, phone still in your hand, blanket wrapped around you like armor. Your eyes open, and the first thing you see, a message. "Hey, are you up?" That is question number 1. No grammar exercise. No classroom, just life. You do not reply. Not yet. You stretch, shuffle into the kitchen. Coffee. Your roommate walks in, hair like a bird's nest. He opens the fridge. Pauses, looks at you. "Did you drink the last of the milk?" Question 2. You raise your eyebrows. "Maybe." but you both know the truth. You sip your coffee anyway. Burn your tongue, as always. Buzz. Your phone lights up. It is your boss. Can you come in early today? Boom. Question 3. Now you are awake. You text back something like, sure, or what time, trying to be polite, while silently mourning your free morning. Hoodie, keys, shoes half on. You head out. Then, your neighbor calls from her door. Did you see my cat last night? Question 4. You blink, smile, say, no, sorry. You do not know what else to say. And that is real English. Not perfect, not planned. Just honest. You keep walking, past the cafe you always ignore. But today, you stop because you need caffeine that does not taste like regret. You walk in. The barista looks up. What can I get started for you? Question 5. Your mouth? Not ready, you panic. Fumble. A small, no, medium latte, please. She nods, then asks, hot or iced? Question 6. It is not even 8 a.m., and you have already heard 6 questions without opening a book. Without pressing play on a grammar video, just living, you get your drink. Take that glorious first sip, feel like a movie character for a second. Then a stranger taps your shoulder. Do you know what time it is? Question 7. You check. Tell him. He nods, walks away, but your brain, still spinning. These are not test questions. They are not practice. They are real. You did not plan them. They just showed up. Now you are at the train station. Phone rings. Hey, where are you right now? Question 8. You lie a little. Almost there. Still 3 stops away. Then comes the next one. What time do we start again? Question 9. You laugh because you honestly forgot too. Just as you hang up, another message pops up. Can we talk later? That is number 10. 10 real questions before 9 a.m. Let that sink in. No grammar drills, no quiz. No English teacher in sight. Just life. And your brain doing its best. So let me ask you, how many of those 10 can you actually answer? Not perfectly, but naturally. Easily, with your own rhythm, your own voice. Because these questions, they are not just about English. They are about you. Do you want sugar in that? Can I sit here? Are you okay? These are not grammar points. They are connection points. And the more you face them, the more your brain learns to trust you. That is fluency, not knowing everything, but flowing with what you already know. So here is your challenge. Pick one moment in your morning, just one, and write down every question you hear or say. You might be surprised. And next time someone asks, hot or iced, you will not freeze. You will smile. Answer and move on, like it is no big deal. Because guess what? It really is not. Speaking English is not a test. It is just life, out loud. And speaking of out loud, let me tell you what still stops most people from speaking, even when they know the questions. Even when they know the answers. You want to know? Let me show you. In the next part. Let me tell you something I never planned to admit. I used to carry around a notebook, thick, heavy. Like it was my English survival kit. Inside, pages and pages. Top 100 questions, 50 restaurant phrases, 30 conversation starters. All color-coded, neatly written, reviewed. Rewritten, memorized. It looked impressive. And honestly, I thought I was doing everything right. Until one day, I was on the subway. Tired, listening to music, zoned out. And a tourist turned to me. Does this train go to downtown? Simple question. I knew it. It was literally on page 4 of my notebook. But my mouth? Nothing. My brain said yes. But my face froze, so I just nodded hard. Too hard, like a cartoon character on Fast Forward. And when they smiled and said, "Thank you." "You speak good English." I wanted to disappear, because I did study, but I could not speak. You ever feel that? Like you followed every rule and still failed the moment? That one experience? It broke something in me. I started asking, why do I know the phrases, but not know how to use them? Think about it. We all memorize questions like, what do you do? Where are you from? What kind of music do you like? But in real life, we just smile, say yes, or nothing at all, because memorization is not fluency. It is storage. You collect phrases like canned food, sealed, organized, labeled, but never opened. And what good is food if you never eat it? Here is the secret nobody teaches. You cannot memorize your way into confidence. You have to feel the phrase. You have to live it. Otherwise, your English becomes a museum. Polished, beautiful, silent. And it is not your fault. Most of us were taught English like math. Equations. Rules, correct answers. But language? It is not math, it is music. You do not just know a song. You feel it. Same with questions. Take this one. What do you mean? It is not just 3 words. Say it confused. What do you mean? Say it annoyed. What do you mean? Say it playfully. What do you mean? See? It is not the phrase. It is the energy behind it. No list in your notebook can teach you that, so what happens if you only memorize? You sound smart on paper, but invisible in real life. You avoid eye contact. You nod instead of speaking. You wait for subtitles. And slowly, you start believing, maybe I am just not good at this. But that is not true. You are not bad at English. You are just disconnected from it. Because English is not a quiz, it is a bridge. So what now? Do we throw out the lists, burn the notebooks? No. They still help, but they are not the destination. You have to use the questions. With your voice, your rhythm, your timing. Ask someone, "Are you okay?" and mean it. Say, "Can I help you?" and actually mean it. Say, "Do you have a minute?" and be ready to listen. These are not grammar drills, they are doorways, and if you wait to sound perfect, you will miss the moment to be real. So here is your challenge. Pick 3 questions you already know, just 3, and find a way to use them this week. Not perfectly, just honestly, because honest English, that is the most powerful kind. And remember this, the phrases you feel will always beat the ones you only memorize. You want to stop freezing when someone talks to you. Let me show you the next step, how I trained my brain to speak without panic and ask questions without fear. It changed everything. Let me tell you how, in the next part. The first real English question I ever used was not from school. It was not, "What is your name?" Not, "Where are you from?" Not even, "How are you?" It was this one. "What do you mean?" And that question, it saved me. Let me take you back for a second. There was this small coffee shop, nothing special. Just a local spot near my old job. Same order every morning. Coffee, 1 sugar. No milk. Same table, same tired barista. We barely spoke, just nods and routine. Then one day, he handed me the cup, smiled, and said, "Careful, it bites today." I froze. Did he just say the coffee bites? What does that even mean? My brain scrambled. Was it a joke? Was something wrong with my drink? I just stood there, blinking. Awkward silence. Then, without planning it, I said, "What do you mean?" No perfect accent, no fancy sentence. Just a real question. He laughed. "Oh, just strong coffee today, like extra strong, might knock you out." I laughed too. Not because I fully got it, but because I was in the moment, not watching from the outside, but part of it. And that moment changed everything, because for the first time, English felt like connection, not performance, not a test. A mirror. That one question, "What do you mean?" was not about sounding smart. It was about being curious, being present. And that changed the way I saw English. Later that same week, I heard a coworker say in a meeting, "We need to loop them in." What? Loop who? In what? Old me would have nodded and pretended. But this time I asked, "Sorry, what do you mean by loop them in?" And he explained, no weird look, no judgment. Just an answer, and I realized something big. When you ask, you do not look dumb. You look engaged. You invite understanding, you build trust, you create space. But here is the problem. Most people are afraid to ask. We smile. We nod. We hope the topic changes, not because we do not care, but because we are afraid of looking lost. So let me say this loud and clear. Asking is not a weakness. It is a superpower. When you say, "What do you mean?" you are not failing. You are choosing clarity over confusion. Connection over guessing. Let us practice it together. Say it with me. What do you mean? Now slower. What do you mean? Now try this. Add emotion. Confused. What do you mean? Surprised. What do you mean? Gently curious. What do you mean? Same phrase, different feeling. That is the magic. Here is a small trick. Next time something makes you pause, say, "Sorry, what do you mean by that?" Or, "Could you explain that part again?" You will be amazed. People will lean in, not away, because asking shows presence. And presence builds fluency, not just grammar fluency, but human fluency. Fluency of trust, fluency of attention, fluency of being there. So remember this. You do not need 100 questions to speak well. Sometimes one good question is enough. And, "What do you mean?" might be the best one to start with. Simple, honest, real. But asking is only the first half of the story. The next step? Answering. What happens when someone asks you a question and your brain just freezes? How do you respond without overthinking, without blanking out? Without sounding robotic? Let me show you how I trained myself to answer better, to speak braver. It changed everything. I will tell you all about it in the next part. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked away from a conversation and thought, "I should have said more," or worse, "I had the perfect answer. 5 minutes too late"? Yeah, me too. There is this strange moment, right after someone asks you something in English, and your brain just stalls. Not because you do not know the words, you do. But everything suddenly moves too fast. Your brain is translating, your heart is racing. Your face is smiling, but your mouth silent. You are stuck between knowing and speaking. So the big question is, how do we fix that? How do we build reflexes in English? So when someone asks, "Are you okay?" you do not freeze. Let me show you a little trick. It is simple, almost silly. But it works. I call it the mirror game. Here is how it works. Pick one question. Just one common English question, then answer it, out loud. To your reflection. No pressure, no perfect grammar. No overthinking, just speak. Example. Question. Are you okay? Answer. I am just tired. Say it again and again, like you are in a movie. Like you mean it, then change it up. I am fine, just thinking. Not really, but I will be okay. Yes. Why do you ask? You are not trying to memorize. You are training your brain to move instead of freeze. That is the whole point. Let us try a few more. Ready? Do you need help? No, I got it. Actually, yes. Thank you. Maybe. Can you show me? What time is it? It is almost 9. Let me check. I think it is a little late. Do you live around here? Yeah, just a few blocks. No, I am visiting. Sort of. I stay with a friend nearby. Do you see what is happening? These are not perfect answers. They are short, natural, real. And the more you do this, the more your brain learns to skip the panic. Because you are building response memory, just like athletes build muscle memory. You swing before thinking, you respond before doubting. That is fluency. Not perfect words, just fast comfort. So here is your practice today. Pick 5 question and answer pairs that actually show up in your life. Then say them out loud to the mirror, like you are talking to someone who matters. And if the mirror feels weird, use your phone. Record yourself, listen back, not to judge, but to get used to your own voice in English. Because here is what will happen. First time, your voice might shake. Second time, clearer. Third time, you will sound like someone you trust. Let us try 5 pairs right now. Repeat after me. Are you okay? I am just tired. Can I help you? I am just looking, thank you. Do you want something to drink? Just water, please. Are you from here? No, I am from Seoul. What brings you here? Just visiting a friend. Say them once. Then again, change the speed, change the tone. Make them yours. And here is the thing. When that real-life moment shows up, when someone actually asks, you will not freeze, you will not search for words. They will already be in your mouth. Not memorized, lived. And that, right there, is how fluency grows. But now, what if you want to go further? What if one simple question could turn into 5 full minutes of real conversation? Not just yes or no, but back and forth. Connection, flow. Let me show you exactly how to do that in the next part. Let me ask you something simple. How long can one question last? 5 seconds. Maybe 10? What if I told you? One question could open a 5-minute conversation, a real one. With real connection. It happened to me on a train once. I sat next to an older woman. Maybe late 60s, soft eyes, warm smile. I nodded politely. She smiled back. Silence. Until she turned and asked, "Where are you from?" Now you have heard that one before, right? Classic textbook. Feels like small talk. And usually, I would just say, Vietnam. Done. End of story. But that day, I paused, and I said, I am from Vietnam, but I grew up in 2 different cities. Kind of a mix, really. She raised an eyebrow. 2 cities? Boom, we were off. 5 minutes later, we were talking about travel. How places shape who we are, how accents carry memory. That one little question. It turned into a story. Here is the truth nobody tells you. You do not need more words. You just need more layers. Let me show you how it works. Take this question. Where are you from? Most people say, I am from Brazil. I am from Korea. Boom. Done. But now watch this. I am from Korea. Seoul, actually. But I spent a few years in Toronto. Feel that? It opens the door. It invites something back. And that is how real conversations begin. Let us try another. Do you like it here? Short answer, yes, I do. Better answer, yeah, it is quiet. I miss home sometimes, but I like the parks here. Now the other person can ask, what is home like? What do you miss most? That is where language lives, not in grammar charts, but in give and grow. So here is my favorite formula. I use it all the time. I call it answer plus add. You give a simple answer, then add one personal detail. Try these. Q. What do you do? I work in logistics. It gets intense, but I love solving problems. Q. Why are you here? Mostly for work, but also to get out of my comfort zone. That last line. It is an invitation. It makes people want to lean in. Suddenly you are not just practicing English. You are building something. So let us practice. Repeat after me, slowly. like you are talking to someone who really wants to know. Q. Where are you from? I am from Colombia, small town near the mountains. Very green. Kiku. What do you do? I am in IT, but I used to work in music, total switch. Q. Do you like it here? Yeah. It is fast-paced, but it keeps me on my toes. Q. Why did you come? A mix of reasons. Work, and maybe a little escape. Feel that? These are not long speeches. But they breathe, they move, they give you to the other person. And when you speak like that, you invite people to speak back, not just language, connection. So here is your mini challenge. Pick 3 simple questions, ones people actually ask you, and practice, answer. Then add, say it out loud, say it to a friend. Say it to yourself in the mirror, and if you need help, shadow me. Let us try a quick drill right now. I say the question, then the answer. You repeat after me. Q. Do you live around here? Yeah, just 2 blocks down. I walk by this park every morning. Kabu. Have you been here before? Once, a long time ago. It looks different now. Kau. Are you traveling alone? Yeah. Needed some space. Quiet helps me reset. Say it again, but this time make it yours. Let it sound like you. Because here is the secret. When someone asks you a simple question, you do not have to stop at yes or no. You can open something. You can start something. That is how strangers become stories. And speaking of stories, next time I will tell you about a moment that surprised me. A stranger once asked, "Can I help you?" And what happened next completely changed how I see English. I will share that with you in the next part. Let me take you back. One rainy afternoon. Nothing special, no big meetings, no deadlines. Just a regular Tuesday. I had just moved to a new city, still figuring things out. Still learning the streets, still Googling how to say things politely in English. And on that day, everything felt heavy. The sky, my backpack, even my thoughts. I ducked into this little corner shop, tiny place, a bit messy. Boxes stacked high, a bell on the door that rang way too loud. I stood there, just staring at shelves full of stuff I did not recognize. Looking for something simple, a phone charger, maybe an adapter, but the labels, all unfamiliar. And then, this voice from behind the counter. Soft. Gentle. Can I help you? I looked up. An older man. Glasses sliding down his nose, kind eyes, quiet voice. No pressure. And that moment, that one question, I still remember it because it was the first time in that entire city someone saw me, not as a tourist, not as someone foreign, just a person who needed a little help. And that question, "Can I help you?" was not just a store phrase. It was human. I smiled, and honestly, I could not remember the word for adapter. My brain blanked, so I just said, "Phone." Power, wall, and pointed. He chuckled. "Ah, charger?" I nodded. "Charger, yes." "That one." He handed me the box. I paid. He folded the bag, twice. Then said, "Take care. Weather's not too kind today." I stepped back out into the rain, but somehow I felt warmer than I had all day. The whole thing lasted under 3 minutes, but it stayed with me for years. Why? Because it reminded me, English is not always about saying more. Sometimes it is about seeing more. Seeing the moment, seeing the person in front of you, and choosing to ask something small, with heart. And you know what else? That question, "Can I help you?" can sound completely different depending on how you say it. Let me show you. Polite and professional. "Can I help you?" Casual and friendly. "Hey, need a hand?" Warm and gentle. "You okay? Can I help with something?" Cautious but kind. You look a bit lost. Can I help? Same words, different feeling. That is the real power of English. So when you practice, do not just memorize the sentence. Feel the sentence. Because sometimes, the smallest question carries the deepest kindness. Try it with me. Say it out loud. Can I help you? Now slower. With care. Can I help you? Now say it like you truly want to help. Like you mean it. Good. Now flip it. You are the one being asked. What do you say? Try this. Yes, please, I am looking for something. Actually, yeah, that would be great. I think so. Not sure where to start. Short. Honest. Real. And here is something I want you to hold on to today. Every time someone asks, "Can I help you?" it is more than a question. It is a chance to connect, to respond, to be seen, to speak, and maybe one day soon, you will be that person. The one who offers help first, the one who asks with presence, "Can I help you?" Because that is what English is really for, not to impress. To connect. And next, we will take that same question and learn how to use it in 10 different tones. So your English will not just sound correct, it will feel alive. We will do that in the next part. Let me ask you something a little strange. Have you ever heard someone ask a simple question, but somehow it hit you deeper than you expected? Same words, different tone, completely different feeling. Why? Because in English, how you say something matters just as much as what you say. Let me show you what I mean. Take this question. Are you okay? Say it flat, like a robot. Are you okay? Cold, distant, no soul. Now say it with real concern. Are you okay? Much better. Now whisper it, like you are talking to someone holding back tears. Are you okay? That pause, that softness, that is empathy. Same sentence, same words. But each one tells a completely different story. That is the power of tone, and that is where shadowing comes in. Shadowing is not just repeating words, it is repeating rhythm, energy, emotion. You are not copying English like a dictionary, you are copying it like a song. Because English, it is not just a language of letters, it is a language of melody. So here is what we are going to do, together. I will give you 10 common English questions, each one with a different tone, a different mood, a different story, and you will shadow them. Say them after me, with your mouth, with your breath, with your face, with your feeling. Ready? Take a breath. Let us go. 1. Curious. Where are you from? Like you just met someone new and want to know their story. Say it. Where are you from? 2. Concerned. Are you okay? Like you just saw someone sitting alone looking hurt. Say it gently. Are you okay? 3. Friendly. What are you up to today? Like you just bumped into a friend on the sidewalk. Say it light. What are you up to today? 4. Formal. May I help you? Like you work at a nice hotel. Calm. Professional. Say it steady. May I help you? 5. Surprised. Wait, what time is it? Like you just realized you might be late. Say it quick. Wait, what time is it? 6. Tired. Do we really have to go? Like it is 6 a.m. and you want to stay in bed? Say it slow. Do we really have to go? 7. Gentle. Can I ask you something? Like you are about to open up about something private. Say it soft. Can I ask you something? 8. Defensive. What do you mean by that? Like someone just touched a nerve. Say it sharp. What do you mean by that? 9. Excited. Are you serious? Like someone just told you amazing news. Say it big. Are you serious? 10. Playful. Do you always do that? Like you are joking with someone you like. Say it fun. Do you always do that? Feel the shift? That is what turns a sentence into a conversation. Because tone is how we show what we really mean. And here is the cool part. You already do this. In your own language. You already know how to pause, to smile, to lower your voice. Now, just bring that instinct into English. Here is your shadowing challenge for this week. Pick 3 questions from the list. Practice them in 3 different tones each. Record yourself. Listen back. Do not judge. Just notice. Where does it feel real? Where does it still sound stiff? And remember, you are not just practicing pronunciation, you are learning to connect through sound. And once you get that, even one question can carry 10 different stories. And speaking of stories, next time, I want to tell you something personal. A moment when I said nothing because I was too afraid, too frozen. And I missed the chance to meet someone incredible. Let me share what I learned from that. In the next part, let me tell you about my weirdest English teacher. It was not a person, not a classroom, not even a YouTube video. It was a mirror. Yep, just a plain old mirror. The one in my tiny bathroom, right above the sink. The one that saw me, half awake, half dressed, and fully unsure about my English. But that mirror taught me more than most teachers ever did. Here is why. You do not always need someone else to practice speaking. You just need someone to respond, and sometimes that someone can be you. So I started something simple. Every morning, right after brushing my teeth, I looked into the mirror and asked myself a question in English. How are you today? And I answered. Out loud, even if I felt silly, I am okay. A little tired, but good. Then I asked another. What are you doing later? Working until 5, maybe going for a walk. Then another. What did you dream about? Something weird. I forgot, but I think it had flying. And just like that, I was having a conversation with myself. In English, not to perform, not to get it perfect. Just to wake up my voice. Because let us be honest, most of us consume English. We listen. We read, we scroll, but we do not produce enough. And speaking? It is a muscle. If you do not use it, it fades. That is why the mirror helped. It did not judge. It did not laugh. It did not interrupt. It just reflected and waited. Sometimes, that is all we need, so here is how you can do it too. Pick a moment in your day. Morning, night, lunchtime. Your call. Stand in front of a mirror. Look yourself in the eye. No filters, just presence. And ask one question. What is your name? How are you feeling? What are you excited about today? Then answer it, like it matters, because it does. Not for grammar, for confidence, need ideas. Here are 20 questions to get you going. Say them out loud, then answer them your way. Let us do it together. What is your name? Where are you from? What time is it right now? How do you feel today? What did you eat for breakfast? What are you thinking about? What is your biggest goal this week? What do you want to do tomorrow? What do you see outside your window? What song is stuck in your head? What did you dream about last night? What is something you are proud of? What are you worried about? Who do you miss right now? What makes you laugh? What makes you feel calm? What is something you want to learn? What do you love about your life today? What would you tell your past self? What is your favorite question? Simple. Honest, human. You do not need perfect grammar for any of them. You just need a voice and a mirror. And if you do this every day, something shifts. Your English stops being a subject. It becomes a space. A tool, a language where your thoughts live. Because the first person you must learn to speak to is yourself. And if you can speak to yourself, you can speak to anyone. Now, Let us go even deeper. In the next part, we will talk about listening and why your answers do not need to be perfect, as long as they are real. Because the best English you will ever speak comes from the part of you that is not trying to impress. Let me show you how that works in the next part. Let me ask you something simple. What do you do? You have heard that question 1,000 times. First day of class, job interviews, small talk in a coffee shop. And most people, we answer like this. I work in marketing. I am a student. I run a small business. Done. Next question. But what if I told you that one simple question could unlock a real conversation? Something deeper, more personal, more human. Let me show you how. It is called the question loop. Or, as I like to say, one question, 3 layers. Here is how it works. Layer 1, the surface answer. This is the basic info, the what. I work in customer service. I teach English at a local school. Clear, safe. Straightforward, but we are just getting started. Layer 2, the feeling behind it. Add 1 sentence about how you feel. It is a bit stressful sometimes, but I love helping people. It is not what I planned, but it feels like the right place. Now we are moving closer, because feelings are where connection starts. Layer 3, the story underneath. Add something personal. A reason. A memory. A why. Growing up, I never had anyone explain things clearly, so now I try to be that person for someone else. My dad was a teacher. I guess it is in my blood. Now, it is no longer a job, it is you, and that is what people remember. Let me show you a full loop in action. Q. What do you do? I work in a small bookstore downtown. Layer 1. It is quiet, but I honestly love it. Layer 2. Books were my best friends growing up. So this job feels like home. Layer 3. Boom. Now the person you are talking to, they are not just nodding. They are leaning in. They might ask, what kind of books do you love? Do you write too? And just like that, you are not just 2 strangers anymore. You are 2 humans, sharing space. So let us try it together. Pick a common question. How about this? Q. Where are you from? I am from Morocco. Layer 1. It is hot in the summer, but I miss the food the most. Layer 2. My grandmother used to cook for the whole family on Sundays. I still smell the spices sometimes. Layer 3. Feel that? We started with geography and ended with memory. That is real English. Let us do another. Qs. Do you like your job? Yeah, I do. It is challenging sometimes, but I like the variety. I get bored easily, so I need something that keeps my brain busy. Kyo. Why are you learning English? Because I need it for work. But also, I love how it sounds. I used to watch movies with subtitles and wish I could understand without reading. Now I almost can. Powerful, right? And no, you do not need to say all 3 layers every time, but knowing them, practicing them. It gives you range. It gives your answers depth. Because here is the truth. Most people do not remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. And when your answers come with layers, you make people feel seen, heard, connected. So here is your challenge. Pick 3 questions this week. Answer them in 3 loops. Say them out loud, or write them first, then speak them to your mirror. And next time someone asks, what do you do? Where are you from? Do not just give a label. Give them a little piece of your story, because that is how English comes alive. And next, we go one step further. I will show you how to create your own natural questions, not textbook ones, not robotic ones, but the kind native speakers use without even thinking. Let us build those in the next part. Let us be real for a second. Some English questions? They sound like they came straight out of a textbook. Do you like music? What is your favorite color? Do you enjoy reading? Sure, they are clear, they are safe. But they do not feel real. Nobody in real life walks up and says, "Excuse me, do you like music?" What they actually say is, "What kind of stuff do you listen to?" Or, "Who are you into these days?" And that small shift, from textbook to real talk, makes a big difference. Because real conversations, they are messy, imperfect, emotional, alive. So if you want your English to sound natural, more like you have to learn to ask like people actually speak. Let me show you how. First, drop the stiff structure. Most learners are taught to ask, "Do you like ee? Do you have ee? What is your favorite ee?" And while that is not wrong, it often sounds rehearsed, predictable, a little robotic. Now let us flip it. Instead of, "Do you like cooking?" Try, "Are you into cooking? Do you ever cook? What is your go-to meal?" Instead of, "What is your favorite movie?" Try, "Seen anything good lately? What movie messed you up, in a good way?" Hear the difference. One sounds like an exercise, the other sounds like a human being, and here is my go-to formula for natural questions. Curiosity plus context, it's real conversation. Let us break that down. Textbook. Do you read books? Natural. That book looks intense. What is it about? Or, you seem like a reader. What kind of books are your thing? Same idea, different vibe. So here is something fun to try. Take 3 boring questions and make them yours. Let us do it together. 1. Textbook. What do you do? Real. So, what keeps you busy these days? Work or study? What is your Monday usually like? 2. Textbook. Do you like music? Real. What is always playing in your headphones? Any songs stuck in your head lately? 3. Textbook. Where are you from? Real. Where is home for you? Have you always lived here? Where did you grow up? Feel the shift? The first version feels like a quiz. The second feels like a moment between 2 real people, and here is the best part. You do not need to be fluent to ask like this. You just need to be present. Look at the person. Notice something small. Then ask from there. Let me give you a few examples. That is a cool watch? Story behind it? You seem super calm. What is your secret? You look like someone who avoids small talk. Me too. These questions do not just start conversations. They open doors. So here is your challenge. Pick one day this week, just one, and ask someone a question, but not from a textbook. Ask from your voice. Make it curious. Make it kind. Make it you. Because when you start doing that, English becomes more than grammar. It becomes your tool for connection. And the more you ask like this, the less you sound like a student, and the more you sound like yourself in English. Now, let us bring everything together. In the next part, I will give you something big. 100 real-life questions, sorted by situations. Work, travel, small talk, daily life. And yes, if you want to keep them forever, I have something special just for you. Let us build your conversation toolkit in the next part. All right, you've made it this far. You've listened to the stories, you've practiced tone, you've felt nervous. And now, I hope you're ready to speak anyway. Now, it is time for your toolkit. Because here's the truth. You don't need to memorize 1,000 questions, you just need the right ones. The kind that come up in real life, the ones that feel natural. That open doors, that make you sound like you. So I put together 100 real questions, grouped for everyday moments. No grammar talk, no textbook stiffness, just real English from real people. Let's go through them together. And yes, if you want them all in one place, there's a free PDF waiting in the description. Print it. Practice it. Stick it by your mirror. It is yours. All right, here we go. Group 1. Small talk. First impressions. Where are you from? What brings you here? Have you been here before? Do you come here often? What do you do? Do you live nearby? Or what are you into? What do you do on weekends? Have we met before? Are you here alone? Group 2. Work study. What do you do for a living? How long have you worked there? Do you like your job? What is a typical day like? What did you study? Anything exciting you're working on? What's the best part of your job? Ever think about switching careers? How do you deal with stress? Morning or night person? Group 3. Friends, social life. How did you two meet? Who's your best friend? Do you like meeting new people? What do you usually talk about? Are you introverted or extroverted? What kind of people do you click with? Parties or quiet nights? And ever made friends while traveling? What do you appreciate in a friend? What's your idea of fun? Group 4. Travel culture. Traveled anywhere recently? Dream destination? Beaches or mountains? Most beautiful place you've been? Ever had culture shock? What surprised you traveling? And like trying local food? Favorite travel memory? Ever gotten lost in a new city? Where next? Group 5. Daily life routines. What time do you wake up? How do you start your day? Do you have a morning routine? What's your go-to breakfast? How do you unwind? One thing you always carry? Do you cook? What app do you use most? What helps you focus? What do you do before bed? Group 6. Feelings, opinions. What makes you calm? What frustrates you? Good at expressing feelings? Scared of something, but want to try anyway? How do you handle disappointment? What do you wish people understood better? What energizes you? Chin, what drains you? Do you follow your head or your heart? When do you feel most alive? Group 7. Entertainment hobbies. What shows are you into? What music do you like? Do you read much? Seen any good movies lately? Favorite way to spend a slow Sunday? Into podcasts. Hobby you wish you had time for. Something creative you enjoy. Sports or art. Scheiße. What do you do when bored? Group 8. Deep reflective. Something you're proud of? Hard lesson you learned. What do you want to be remembered for? Ever had a major mindset change? What does home mean to you? What keeps you going through challenges? What would you tell your younger self? One truth you hold dear. And do you believe in second chances? What do you want to create in life? Group 9. Emergencies unexpected. Are you okay? Can I help you? What happened? Do you need a doctor? Where does it hurt? Can you call someone? Do you know what day it is? Are you allergic to anything? Feel dizzy? Should I call an ambulance? Group 10. Random fun. If you could live anywhere, where? What's your comfort food? If you won the lotto, what's first thing you'd buy? What superpower would you want? Weirdest thing you've eaten? Dogs or cats? If your life were a movie, what genre? What's your guilty pleasure? Question you wish people asked more. And something about you most people don't know? Take your time. Pick one group each day. Speak them out loud. Use them when you can. And remember, you don't need all 100. Even 5 honest questions, asked with real curiosity, can create magic. Now, here's the next step. I'm going to leave you with one final question. One question that can change your day, maybe even someone else's. Let me tell you what it is. Next. Let me end this with something small, something simple, something quiet, but powerful. Just a question. 5 little words. and I believe it might be the most powerful question in English. Ready? Here it is. How can I help you? That's it, not fancy. Not complicated, but said at the right moment, in the right tone, with the right heart. It can change everything. I remember a random Tuesday afternoon. I felt lost, not just in a new place, but inside myself. I was on a bench, in a city that didn't feel like mine, putting on a brave face. But it was not working. Then a stranger joined me, quiet at first. Then softly asked, "Hey, how can I help you?" I didn't know what to say. My heart cracked open. That question didn't ask for perfection. It offered connection. It said, "I see you. You don't need to have it all together. Just talk to me." And maybe that is what we all need, in English and in life, to be seen, to be invited, to be heard. So here's my invitation to you. You've learned 100 questions. You've practiced tone. You've trained with your mirror. You've shared your story. You've stepped into fear. Now, it's your turn to speak, to ask, to reach out, not perfectly, not polished, but with your voice. So tell me, what one question will you ask someone this week? Write it down. Say it out loud. Better yet, drop it in the comments below. And if you feel brave, add this too. What question do you wish someone would ask you? Because sometimes the questions we carry silently are the ones that matter most. And maybe, just maybe, someone else is waiting for your words. So ask. Speak. Start small. One moment of courage. A few real words. That is all it takes. And one day, someone might look at you and say, "Thank you." That question mattered. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep asking, keep feeling, keep speaking like your story matters.